Okay. Um, so what do I do? They can hear me? All right. Okay. All right, bye. What's going on? Okay, so I'm doing good, thank you. Everything I see here is asking me how I am. Am I supposed to be here with somebody else? Is Mike joining us or anybody else? No? Okay. Just me. Good, you don't want anybody else anyways. I'm more fun all by myself. Let's see, what does this say? There's so many questions I can't even read them. I heard you bring your, oh yeah, we bring our own juicer on tour. We juice all sorts of stuff. We juice like, we juice like oranges. Bananas are bad. Don't juice bananas. Oranges, apples, ginger, peanut butter. I'm getting a lot of questions about what the next record sounds like, and I would say that it's, it's going to be different. It's too early to say what it's going to sound like. We have no idea. But we're working with Rick, and we're in the process of, writing some songs. Okay, I'm trying to click on stuff to make it stop. I am at home right now. I am. My nose has joined us too. I know, it's crazy. I love bacon. This is so strange. What was the hardest obstacle to overcome while making 1,000 Suns? I would say that just kind of getting out of a comfort zone when we write. We kind of, once you know how to do something, you kind of want to keep repeating that, and that gets really easy. But I think that overcoming the safe route is probably the hardest part, because it's easy to do the safe thing. It's harder to take a chance and make music that sounds different than the stuff that was successful in the past. Will I make another Dead by Sunrise record? Maybe. I don't know. I think I'll probably make another one. But I think that Dead by Sunrise is something that is going to have to happen, when I'm not busy with Linkin Park, and that could be a long time. So I don't know when the next one will come out. Camp Freddy, I love playing with Camp Freddy. Those guys invite me to play all the time. But probably after we're done touring in September, and early next year, if there's any Camp Freddy shows, I'll probably be able to do them at that time. Latest tattoo, I think, is this one. I like dragons, and I like koi fish, and I think that the legend of the koi turning into a dragon, I like that. So these are koi fish turning into dragons on my shoulders. Super excited about the show. Show's coming up in Japan. I can't wait to play with the Bees. Those guys are awesome. I think it's going to be a great show. And for all the people who are participating in raising money to come to the secret show, you guys are kicking butt. It's awesome. Great job. Thank you for all the really nice things you're saying about, everybody's saying about the Adele cover. That's really cool. Thank you. You know, playing covers is kind of a thing that we don't do very often, so we have to, you know, we're pretty picky about that kind of thing. But, you know, 8 years ago when we didn't have very many songs to play live, we would actually play songs like Wish or any of the other, you know, Deftones song or whatever we could throw in our show, because we only had like 36 minutes of music. So I don't know how often we'll do covers, but yeah, that's so Liz behind me. I'm at my house. There's a lot of people here. They're probably wondering why I'm talking to myself in the corner. What do I think of people that get my tattoos? Well, I want to be sensitive, because there are probably people out there maybe who are watching this that may have gotten some of my tattoos, but I prefer if they don't. There's one guy that I saw that has like all of my tattoos, and that's kind of weird. We did adopt a kitten. His name is Henry. He's awesome. Can you see the ring tattoo? I'm drinking a Coke right now, actually. Frosty. What are the biggest lessons I've learned over the last 10 years? I've learned a lot of stuff over the last 10 years. I think I've learned to just kind of calm down a little bit, but there's so much stuff. Like, I was just a little kid when we, you know, I was just a kid, a young man when we started this. So, you know, where I'm kind of like an old guy now. But I don't know. I think you know, learning patience and you know, being a dad is really something that, you know, I didn't know I would be. I didn't know I would be the person that I am today, for sure, 10 years ago. Will we ever play Robot Boy live? Maybe. I would like to play all of the 1,000 Suns, you know, from beginning to end live someday. That'd be cool. How do I keep my voice good after grunting? I don't know. I've never kind of figured that out. You know, the first couple of days on tour are usually the toughest, but honestly, I don't know how my voice holds up after every show. It's kind of a mystery. We have 1 million seeds for the next record already. What's the hardest song to sing? I would say that Crawling's probably been the most trouble, caused me the most trouble live, more than any other song. Just because it's like so it's just that one long note the whole time. But I think probably, yeah, probably Crawling and probably With You was hard when we used to play that one. No, I'm not going to sing right now. I'm enjoying not singing right now. I just got a question about how we come up with lyrics in other languages. We don't really think about it. We just kind of write them in English, and then they're translated in whatever country they're sold in. So I'm not sure if they translate word for word, but we don't really think about it when we're writing. Any chance of an autobiography? I think that there's probably a time when I thought about it, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy my privacy. I don't think I want everybody to know all of my... In order to write a good autobiography, I'd have to tell everybody the good stuff, and I don't know if I want everybody to know the good stuff. Thank you. I think that Cars 2 or Harry Potter. I haven't seen the new Harry Potter yet, so I'd still have to say Harry Potter over those two favorite movies. What music am I listening to at the moment? I actually really haven't been listening to much. Just been kind of writing stuff. Usually when I write, I don't listen to very much music. So right now I've just been kind of working on creating new music for Linkin Park and not really listening to anything else. Do I really like Madonna? I do really like Madonna. She's awesome. What was it like to be in the Saw movie? It was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I would love to do more movies, but I don't know if I'm that good of an actor. And Saw was awesome. I love those movies. Although I think the movie could have been better, but I think that I really have to say it was one of the most fun things to do. Yeah. Will we ever play some of the LPU songs live? I don't know. Live is something that's interesting, especially for fans who are like really, really super diehard fans that want us to play like crazy stuff, like songs from the LPU or songs that that are unreleased demos, stuff like that. And I think that that would work in a really intimate setting with like a few people, like if we had like 20 people and we played something in a room with them. But I don't know if it would work in an arena or at a show where at a festival where there's thousands of people who may be just casual fans kind of wondering what the hell you're playing. But if the time is right, and the moment calls, you never know what we'll play live. Someone said this is bad. It is. I'm not good at this. Do I prefer small, intimate audiences or bigger ones? I think that the smaller the crowd, the harder it is, the more nerve-wracking it is to play. But I don't know. I think I really enjoy playing like the big ones the best. How does it feel now in 2011 when we play songs from Hybrid Theory? I think that a lot of the songs we still play that are from Hybrid Theory are songs that we really enjoy playing. And I think that we actually, I don't know, I really enjoy watching the crowd explode, you know, with as much energy now as it did 10 years ago when we play like One Step Closer. You know, it's pretty awesome. What was the hardest album out of our 4 records? Which was the hardest to make? I would probably say that Hybrid Theory was probably the hardest one to make because it was the first one. You know, we're still kind of figuring things out in terms of our songwriting and how things work in the studio, and you know, whose input goes where. So I think that the process of making Hybrid Theory was probably the most difficult. Things got really easy after that. Did I enjoy Download in the UK? Yeah, Download was awesome. Loved playing Download. It was really great. A lot of great bands, a lot of hard rock music. It was awesome. Do I still like screaming? I love to scream. I think that it's really a lot of fun for me. It also, you know, sounds great and it's difficult to do. So, but it's definitely not the only thing I want to do. You know, I want to try to use my voice in as many ways as possible, and I also want to be able to, you know, sing for as long as I can. And hopefully, when I'm, you know, 65, I can still sing, you know, Giving Up or something. But I don't know if I'll be screaming throughout my entire career, but I do really enjoy it. You know, I keep getting a lot of questions about my tattoos, and I think I'll probably always get tattoos as long as they're skin. I'll probably always get them. You know, tattoos are a big part of my life, and club tattoo is a big part of my life, and you know, we've been putting tattoos on people's bodies for, you know, over 16 years. So I probably get more tattoos as often as possible. I get a lot of questions about the chicken, doing the chicken. But I do a lot of ritualistic kind of things before the show, and some of them get, some silly things that we do end up becoming things that we do every day, and the chicken just happened to be one of them. It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't have any significant meaning. It's just something fun that I like to do with Brad, and it's something that kind of gets us, you know, in a good mood and sets the tone for positive, fun energy before I get on stage. I just saw someone say, I'm a very hyperactive person backstage. You gotta get pumped up. You know, I gotta get pumped up before I run out there. You don't just want to walk out and go in cold. I do like to cook. I love cooking, actually. I'd probably be a chef or something right now if I wasn't in a band. Would I tour with Muse if we had the chance? Absolutely. Muse is a great band. They're really great live. Very nice guys. I'd love to tour with them. Why was Numb turned into a slow song? Oh, man. I don't know. Because it felt better. Will we ever do an acoustic tour? That'd be fun. I think I could see like Mike and I doing some shows together acoustically. I don't know if we could do an entire acoustic Linkin Park show, but it'd be fun. Why did I perform The Messenger at the Map Fund? That's a good question. I don't know if that question is more why was I at the Map Fund or why did I pick that song, but I thought that the message of the song was suitable for that type of event. What about PETA? What do you mean? Give a shout out to DJ Lethal. You guys are hilarious. Which musician has inspired me the most? That's hard to say. I think that there's so many bands, but I'd have to say probably Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Jane's Addiction, Ministry, Depeche Mode. Those were probably my favorite bands. Those are the ones that I've paid the most attention to. How has my writing process changed? Well, I think that my process has changed a lot over the past 10 years, just because of working with other guys that are actually really good songwriters. You know, Mike is a great songwriter. Brad is a very good songwriter. We've had a chance to work with so many different producers and artists, and you kind of pick up a lot on the way. And I think that for me, I've learned that a long time ago I would want to make a song sound great, because I thought the better it sounded, the better the song was. And now I don't really care what the song sounds like, as long as it's a good song. It can be played in any way, in the simplest way to the most complicated way. And those are the kinds of songs that I want to put on the records. Well, we released the acoustic Dead by Sunrise songs. I think that's possible. That's possible. I would love to put out the everything that we've done for Dead by Sunrise just out there for you guys to have. But I don't know if that's possible. Am I a vegan because of PETA? That's a good question. No, I'm not. I like to eat animals. I do. And I also wear leather products. But there are certain types of fur and there are other kinds of excuse me. I'm sorry. I just heard somebody calling my name in the back. I apologize. Back to the PETA thing. I do eat meat and I do wear leather. I am against fur, and I'm against the fur business and how they treat the livestock. So. How nervous was I trying out for Linkin Park? I actually wasn't nervous at all. I actually didn't really think of it like I was auditioning for them. In my mind, they were really kind of auditioning for me as much as I was auditioning for them. So I knew that they had reached out to me, and through their camp had kind of reached out to me and asked me to submit a tape. I never even knew the band existed. So that was something that I really didn't consider. It wasn't like, oh, I hope I go in for this interview and get the job. I kind of thought I already had the job, and they just needed to see it, and if they didn't choose me, then they were wrong. So. The first demo that I was sent from the band, I think it had the original version of "A Place for My Head" on it. Was the song that I got. Will we ever play a show with every LP song? That would be fun. I'm down. Try to convince the rest of the band. We'll just start from the beginning and play to the end. Play the present. Is nu metal dead? I hope so. Will we ever play Easier to Run live again? I don't think so. I don't think Dave likes that song. So, it's his fault. That's why we don't play it, because Dave doesn't like it. We should play Runaway? I hate that song. I lost you guys. I think I just disappeared for a minute, but oh well. Would you ever start a musical? I think I love doing theater productions. I could see myself doing musical. There's a role for a guy with a lot of tattoos and giant holes in his ears. My Skull Blossom painting is awesome. How did I do it? I made a stencil and cut the stencil out, and then I just stenciled the entire thing like 1,000 times. Dear Chester, will you answer my question? And then you didn't ask the question. What are my thoughts on chocolate chip cookies? It should be a unanimous. Chocolate chip cookies are amazing. What's my favorite Linkin Park song? I'd probably say Breaking the Habit and Paper Cut are probably my favorite. Do I like The Little Things Give You Away? Yeah. I do like that song. That's a great song too. Any weird gifts from fans? Yeah, I get weird stuff all the time. Like, I think I got some asparagus and some kind of cream dipping sauce, which was not. It was very thoughtful, but probably not the best gift. Do we keep all the stuff that's given to us? We keep. Hey, my nose is on the line. Sorry, I got distracted there. ADD. What do I like to drive? I drove a Honda Insight. It's like a big golf cart. I think someone asked me if I would ever grow a beard. I actually can't grow a beard. My hair grows like, if you've seen that movie Joe Dirt, where his hair just grows like this, and then he has like the weird, wacky mustache. That's what happens to me. It's kind of bad. What do I think of shows like American Idol? I think it's cool. I think it's a way for people to showcase their talent or their lack of talent. And, they found some really great singers on that show. I would say that Blackout was probably the hardest song to write on A Thousand Suns, in my opinion. I may have answered that question differently earlier, but... Can we arrange a concert of songs that are rarely performed? I think that goes back to kind of... I think for certain people, there would be a really cool... That it would be really cool for, us to play a lot of songs that are rare, that we don't play very often. But I really don't think that most people would like to see us play a bunch of songs that they don't really know very well. Have I ever forgotten lyrics to the songs? I forget lyrics all the time. Sometimes I'm actually surprised that I sing some of the songs right, because I can't think of the songs, but they kind of just somehow they come in some way. What was so difficult about writing Blackout? Well, one of the difficult things was trying to find, I did the scat what I mean by the scat is kind of like an original melody without words, and I'm just kind of spewing sounds. And I had this wacky scat that was really difficult to kind of put words to, and I think that was really hard. And we also wrote the song in 3 different kind of movements, so trying to make that work, make the transitions make sense, and also, make the song aggressive without being, obvious. Using obvious tricks was difficult. Will our next album be tricky like the last album in terms of, are we going to go out and are we going to, make a record that kind of changes our style and our sound so dramatically? I hope so. I think, I think that as long as we're making music that we think is original and that is interesting to us, we'll be happy. Do you chill with Alice Cooper? I haven't chilled with Alice Cooper, but I would love to. He's awesome. Would we ever consider letting fans pick our set list? Probably not. Is there going to be a new single? I don't think there's going to be a new single. I'm not sure. How do I deal with injuries on tour? I don't know. Each one's different. But I get injured all the time, and usually people don't notice. When you twist an ankle or pull something in your neck or something like that. But I think that usually we just play through them. The best way to get through any kind of injury is to take care of it. Obviously, but is to work through it. So. Usually we just play on. Prettiest place we've ever been? I would have to say we just played in, I think it was Norway for the first time, and that was like Norway in summer was like the most beautiful place I've ever seen. It was insane. Would I like to visit Russia in winter? Yeah, it'd be awesome. Beautiful and freezing cold. Am I sad about the people who don't like the change in our music? I think at one time I probably was, back, in the hybrid theory, Meteora days. I took it very personally when people didn't like our music, and now I kind of just don't care. I know that the songs we put on our records are songs that I personally feel very confident in and feel very proud of. At the time, I believe that each record we put out is the best record we could make at that time. As time goes on, I think. We're much better songwriters now than we were when we wrote Hybrid Theory, but there's really great moments on Hybrid Theory that are awesome. But there are moments that I don't like, and I think that happens as you go on in your career as a musician. You're obviously going to like songs that you've written, and you're not going to like other songs that you've written. But I think that the most important thing for us is really just kind of not really worrying about what other people think and kind of just making music that we enjoy making. People are asking about like any other games or things like another 8-Bit Rebellion. We've got some things in mind, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have some more stuff coming out for you guys. What do I think about games like Rock Band? I think that when Rock Band came out, it was or Guitar Hero came out, it was the greatest contribution to music in that time. Are Joe's videos hard to make? Some of the stuff we do in Joe's videos is hard. I know that Mike really doesn't like snakes, and he had to hold one for 5 hours. I've had to, sing underwater and have my face mashed in warm milk and hung upside down and dropped into a burning bed. Like, that stuff is never fun, but I'm just kidding. It's actually really fun. But yeah, sometimes they're difficult to make. When I'm sitting in my underwear for 6 hours in the rain till 4 o'clock in the morning. That kind of sucked. Why did we take Wretches and Kings out of the set list? Because, we want to keep things different. We don't want to play the same set list every single time we go out. We try to change things up a little bit each time. Do we like Incubus? Yeah, Incubus is awesome. What do I think about Amy Winehouse? Well, I think she was very talented singer, and I think that it sucks that she died. Bummer. What's my favorite music video? I think the best music video ever made is "Give It Away" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the best video ever. When will we come back to Switzerland? I don't know, but I hope we come back in winter, because last time I was there I wanted to snowboard. And I'm going to. I think I'm just going to bring my board out with me. When did I start playing music and singing? Well, I started singing when I was really, really young. I've always kind of sang my whole life. I started playing music when I was about 13. Started my first band around that time, 13, 14. And by the time I was 16, I had made a record. How was my experience in grade A's? It was mixed. We had a lot of really great times. We had a lot of fun. We played a lot of great shows. Played a lot of great shows. But, we also had a lot of, turbulent times as well, and a lot of member changes. So it was kind of a pain in the ass. Do I like Italian football? You mean soccer? My favorite movie, I would have to say I have a couple favorite movies. The Princess Bride is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. And to answer the soccer question, or the football question, yeah, football is awesome. I love it. It's something that's grown on me over the last 5 to 6 years. What's the heaviest band I like? Probably Mastodon is probably the heaviest band I like. I think that they play heavy music in a way that remains interesting to me. So they're awesome. Favorite Beatles song? Strawberry Fields is probably my favorite. Would I do more collaborations with Jonathan Davis? I think Jonathan is awesome. I think that he writes great music outside of Korn. I think the stuff he did for Dracula 2000, was it the vampire movie we did? I can't remember which one it was. Queen of the Damned was awesome. And I think that song that we did together was one of my favorite songs that I've done. So I would love to work with Jonathan again. I like Slipknot. I think Slipknot's cool. I don't know if I like Slipknot as much as Mastodon, but they're awesome. Do I like SpongeBob or Patrick? Who do I like more? Definitely SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob has got life figured out. Best song by The Who is definitely My Generation. What's my favorite cartoon? Probably SpongeBob. Favorite cartoon growing up was probably Bugs Bunny. Will I play other instruments in the future? I think that for me, I started playing instruments so late that it wasn't something I ever really excelled at, and I'm not very comfortable playing guitar and singing live. I can do it, but you know, I'm not like a prodigy on the guitar or piano or anything. So I don't know how much of the musicianship you'll see out of me. I ride a Signal snowboard. I have a couple of them that I ride. They're my favorite boards. For those who didn't understand me, I ride Signal boards. What's my opinion on bull riding? I think those guys are the craziest motherfuckers on earth, what I think. What book would I recommend? There was a good one I just read called "The Devils Are Here." It's kind of like it's a nonfiction book about the fall of our economy. It's pretty interesting. Who am I closest to in the band? I think we're all pretty close, but I definitely think that just because we always travel together, you know, Mike and Dave, I'm probably closer to than others. But I think because Mike and I work so much together, you know, we're always writing together, we're always, you know, touring together, traveling together, interviewing together. We kind of are together the most, I think, so we probably end up the closest. We also talk, you know, about things more than with the other guys because we write lyrics together. Do Mike and I ever fight? It's interesting. I don't think we've ever really fought in the band, really. I think that, you know, we've been really super lucky in the fact that we all kind of get along. I would say that the relationships between myself and the other guys in the band are really very healthy relationships. We don't really yell at each other. We don't really argue. So, what else am I doing today? I was camping with my family for the last 4 days, so I'm kind of recovering from that. I was up in the mountains. What do I think of gay marriage being legalized nationally? I think people should be able to marry whoever they want. I don't understand what the big deal is. What do I feel? Oh, sorry, I couldn't read that one. Someone asked me about a song I did with Travis Barker. I actually never did one. Travis is awesome. I would love to do something with Travis if we have the right amount of time or the right piece of music to do something together. That would be great. But as of now, we haven't done anything. Favorite Oasis song is that's a toss-up. Probably Wonderwall. But There's so many good ones, it's hard to choose. My favorite Transformer is Bumblebee, of course. When will I release my Nine Inch Nails cover of Head Like a Hole? That's a good question. I actually would love to get my hands on a copy of that because it's awesome.